Hello everybody, my name's Lisa, thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to be doing a mixed media project for LavenderBlu art. I've got the garden themed floral digital kit to use today. Now what I thought I would do is there are a lot of people here who enjoy junk journaling, and I do as well, and I also love mixed media, art, painting, drawing, and all that kind of thing. So what I thought I would do was do a kind of crossover from junk journaling over to more mixed media. And so what I thought I would do is, for my first design team project, I would create, using the kit, a mixed media junk journal. And so this journal is going to have no writing pages. Instead, it's going to have different kinds of papers in it that you can make art on. So if you're not really sure where to start with the mixed media world, I thought that this would be a really good way to cross over, make yourself a little junk journal, and then you can experiment in here and, use paints, use watercolors, use stamping, bubble wrap, all different kinds of pens and textures and pencils, and just have a place where you can play, because I think that's one of the really fun things about mixed media. So what I've got for the cover of the junk journal, the mixed media junk journal, is this beautiful printout from the kit, and I've backed it onto some scrapbooking paper that I have, and I'm going to be folding this in half, but I'm going to give it about a 7mm spine and fold it, because it's only going to be a one signature journal, but once you add water to the paper may crumple or buckle or not stay perfectly flat. So I want the journal to have a little bit of room. I've got these other papers ready to go. This paper is from my Dilutions Mixed Media Art Journal, and it's quite thick and heavy. This is the kind of paper that I use for some of my other art, such as this. Let me just grab it for you. And on this I've got Sharpies, textures, watercolors, and this script work is from a very talented hand lettering artist who is also one of my best friends. So thank you, Michelle, for your beautiful work. So I'm going to be including these Dilutions mixed media sheets in my mixed media journal, because out of all of the papers I've got here, this can handle the most amount of water and paint. So that's quite beautiful paper to use. I've also got some watercolor paper that I've got from just one of my art journals, and I'll be adding some watercolors and watercolor pencils to these to create some backgrounds. I've got some different kind of paper. This one is a little bit thinner, so it might be better for drawing, using markers on it, maybe using Posca pens. I'm not sure how much water that these pages can take because they're a little bit thinner, but like I said, everything's about playing and experimenting. I also want to put some traditional pieces of junk journal ephemera in, and I've got my doily, and I always love putting a doily over a brown paper bag, and this might be a really good little storage pocket as well as we go along. This is the kind of art that I really, really love. So I've taken this out of one of my colouring in books, and I just want to have a little bit of inspiration in this mixed media junk journal as well. Just so I've got some bright colours, and I've tried to choose colours that work really nicely with the kit. I've got some paper here. I'm just checking to see if this is on the screen. That's better. I've got some pages here from the kit that are really, really beautiful, and I just want to include it through the journal, and I'll be using elements from the kit throughout the journal in the projects that I do. And the last thing that I'll be including is some tea-dyed paper, And also I found some marbling in paper that I had done quite a long time ago in my stash, and I thought that these colors worked really nicely with the kit. So I thought I would include just a piece of this as well, just to show you how you can use different kinds of pages and papers in this mixed media little journal. So what I'm hoping to do is that every project that I do for LavenderBlu that's mixed media or junk journal related, but you know, everything will have a mixed media focus once this journal is made. And it's just a place where you can play with your paints and your stamps and your markers and your watercolors. And like I said before, just crossing over from the junk journal world into the mixed media and showing how you can collage and add these beautiful elements to create some really beautiful pieces of art. So over the next few videos that I'm going to try and put together, I'm going to be showing you how I create some backgrounds on these different types of art pages, and then I'll be putting this all the pages together in a journal, and then I'll do a flip through. So thank you very much, and the next part of the videos will just be me preparing different kinds of pages. Okay, for the next part of the video, I'm going to be using my peerless watercolors, and I'm going to be using some of the different paper that I've put aside for this mixed media junk journal. So a peerless watercolor, I picked these up from Jane Davenport. She's based in Byron Bay in Queensland, in New South Wales, sorry. And what I did was I put all the peerless sheets of watercolor onto just a piece of cardstock and put them inside these plastic sleeves. And I've got a little color swatch at the bottom underneath so I can see exactly what they look like, because sometimes it doesn't look exactly like the color on the peerless as to the swatch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out some colors that match really nicely with the kit. So I'm thinking this kind of mustard yellow is nice, and maybe one of these mauves. This mixed berry looks quite close to the butterfly. And then I'm probably going to look at like an olive green color. If I've got any left, that looks very well loved. Maybe I need something with a bit more blue in it. So I'm going to be using these peerless watercolors, and I'm going to paint up some different pages to start to create backgrounds for the mixed media junk journal. I've got a beautiful paintbrush here and some water ready to go. Now with this paper, you can see that it's much thinner and it's starting to buckle a little bit under the water, and that when I add the watercolor, it doesn't move on the paper very easily. It soaks in quite quickly, and so you can see the brush. Okay, for the next part of the video, I'm going to be using some acrylic paints from my very lovely clean paint palette here. And again, I'm choosing colors that are going to match with the digital kit. So I've got a dusty pink and a white, and I'm going to start by adding some paint to one of the tea dyed or coffee dyed pages. I don't want to cover it all up. I want to create an interesting background, but I really like the very light brown shining through, so I'll not add too much paint. And again, we're just playing, we're just creating interesting backgrounds that we will be using later on for different projects, for drawing and doodling, maybe adding a photo that's inspiring you. Hello everybody, welcome back. So for the next part of the video, I wanted to show you the results of the backgrounds that I've done for the Mixed Media Junk Journal. And if you can remember earlier in the video, I talked about some papers that were better quality than others, and you'll notice the difference now in the way the paper has dried. So this piece of paper is the Dilutions Mixed Media paper, and this is sort of paper from an art journal, and I've used exactly the same colors, and you can see that the brush marks are quite clear on this one, and it wasn't very easy to spread even when the paper was wet. And this one's got a far more vibrant coverage and a more smooth coverage, and it's really got some lovely, interesting areas where the water and the watercolor have run to make lovely patterns. So I just wanted to show you the difference there. I think that's quite interesting, but I'll put both in the journal, and that's the back, because I'll be able to stamp over that or add acrylic paint or maybe some more watercolors. So these are just backgrounds. The same thing here, you can see quite clear brush strokes in this, and then in the Dilutions Mixed Media paper, it's quite beautiful. I actually tipped it up so it would drip, and then I sort of got a baby wipe and pressed it into the paper to get those beautiful patterns here. So similar colors and the same peerless watercolors, but quite a difference with the paper and the result that you get. And here are some other ones that have dried. This was with more a viridian green, and again you can see the brush marks. It was very hard to move the paint around. And then I switched over to acrylic paint, and I've got a dusty pink here from Kaisercraft paint and a plain white, and I've used it on the tea dyed paper. I didn't cover all of the paper up because I kind of like a little bit of it poking through. This is the Dilutions paper, a lovely smooth coverage, and this has got a little bit of lavender, white, and a hint of dusty pink paint. And these two are quite similar. And here I've used, again, the dusty pink, a hint of yellow and white. And the reason why I've done that is because I really want to make everything work together with the kit. So I'm looking at these colors here, making sure that they marry up really nicely with the colors. Just checking to see if that's recording nicely. Yep. And you can see the mustard yellows, and I'm trying to match a little bit of that pink and purple up. Again, with the purple here. Gives it a totally different look. So the next step for me will be to put all of this together into a junk journal, and using these mixed media pages as my backgrounds. And then in subsequent videos and subsequent months, I'll be adding stamping, bubble wrap, stenciling, collage, all sorts of different mixed media techniques on top of these backgrounds and integrating the LavenderBlu digital kits. So come back for the next part of this video when I show you a flip through of everything put together. Hello everyone, welcome to the last part of the video. So today I'm going to show you what the mixed media junk journal looks like put together. So as you can see, I've used the kit as the cover and added some scrapbooking paper with a decorative trim here for a little bit of stability and support. As you can see, I've got here some mixed media paper, and I've added the acrylic page to the front. Oh, no, that's right. And some more acrylic paint, and I thought that tied in really nicely with the soft purples on the other side. Tea-dyed paper with acrylic paint and marbling paper. Watercolor paper here, painted in watercolor, a paper bag for storage, acrylic paint background. As you can see, plenty of space, but no lined paper. I have a feeling what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this picture down across this page because I'm quite inspired by the way the flowers look, and I thought that would be really nice on the other side. So just an idea that I've got there. Some more watercolor. You can see the brush strokes and the purple picked up on the other side with the kit used as a page. Watercolor and watercolor again, different quality of paper, and you can see the brush strokes of the green. A little bit of inspiration in the middle, and some yellow on this side, and then going back through the journal in reverse, using the kit as pages and the cover, a little bit of inspiration from a colouring in book, a little bit of storage here with the acrylic paint on the other side, and the watercolours, the marbling and the acrylic paint. That's quite lovely, that one. So I look forward to adding more pages to this journal and using lots of different techniques like bubble wrap, stamping, stenciling, collage. If you've got any suggestions, please let me know, and I look forward to having another video for Lavender Blue next month. Bye.